Hi Year 8, this is our first video on percentages. And you should have this booklet, Year 8 Number Skills booklet number 2. You're going to need a calculator for this unit. Now your calculator might not look like this, but it will have similar keys. So I want you to find on your calculator the fraction key, and it will look something like this. So I'll give you a moment to find it. And we're going to practice just for a moment entering some fractions. So to enter the fraction 3/5, we enter 3, the fraction button, 5, and you can enter equals, but you might not need to. So can you spend a minute entering some fractions on your calculator? Now I'm going to show you one other very interesting and useful button, and it's the S to D button. And you might have a variation of this. Might be called something else, but it will have the same function. And what it does is it changes a fraction to a decimal. So go ahead and enter 3/5 again, 3 fraction 5 equals, and press that SD button. And what do you get? Did you get 0.6? So have a play with that. Okay, so let's talk about percentages. We use percentages to compare an amount which is a whole. One whole is 100%. So a whole of anything is 100%. One whole cake, 100%. One whole class, if no one's away, is 100% of the class. So if we take one of these grids, which I'm sure you've seen before, and divide it into 100 little pieces, one of those pieces is 1 out of 100, which is 1%. If we had 100 of those little pieces, then that would be 100 out of 100, which would be 100%. So a percentage is like a fraction, except it's always out of 100. So what we're going to do is practice converting fractions, decimals into percentages. And the way we do it is we multiply by 100. Multiply by 100. And we're going to do it on our calculators. Okay, so convert these into percentages. 3/5. So on our calculator, this line, 3 over 5, this line here is what symbol? Is it a plus? Is it a minus? Is it a times? Or is it a divide? It's a divide. So when we say 3/5, we're actually saying 3 divided by 5. So to change this into a decimal, we're going to go 3 divided by, on our calculator, 5. So have a go. 3 divided by 5. Do it with me. Equals. And you should get 0.6. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is multiply by 100. So times by 100 equals 60%. So 3/5 times by 100. Each of these, to change them, is to times by 100. Okay, so on your calculator, can you do 0.042 times by 100? You might not need your calculator to do that. So you might go 1, 2, and end up with 4.2%. 1/6. Okay, we're going to need to do 1 divided by 6 to get a decimal. And you'll get a really funny decimal like this. And then we times that by 100. 16.7%. Okay, you have a go at these next questions. Okay, so 2/5. We're going to go 2 divided by 5, which is 40, times by 100, so 0.4, which is 40%. And 3 divided by 4, 0.75, times by 100 equals 75%. 1 divided by 8, which is 0.125, times 100, 12.5%. These decimals are already done. So times by 100, 56%, times 100, 8%, times 100. Now the 1 tells us this is going to be bigger than 100%, 140%. Okay, so just to summarize, a fraction has to go to a decimal before it can go to a percentage. Excellent work. So I'd like you to do these questions now, please. And any that you don't do, I would like you to do as homework for tonight.